Panthers Nation, what up? It's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk, and we have an update for the Carolina Panthers. Breaking news coming in that Troy Pride Jr. has officially been waived by the Carolina Panthers, and the reason why was a failed physical designation in relation to his ACL surgery that he had from the injury from before. Now, Troy Pride was a 2020 fourth-round draft pick out of Notre Dame. He was a former guy that was from Greer, the South Carolina area in the upstate, a fan favorite because of those connections, and it was a real feel-good story for this guy. He started 8 games as a rookie, played in 14 total. The numbers and the production wasn't really there, especially to my liking, but he was a fourth-round draft pick being thrusted into a starter position as a rookie. You expect some lumps to be taken, obviously, but Troy, it's just tough because he was just drafted, like I said, in the 4th round 2 years ago. 2 years ago. This was somebody that the team sounded like they liked, but and that's obviously that it shows. But for this injury to happen, really derailed him. Now, where does he bounce back in his career? I don't know. It's going to depend on him officially getting healthy and being able to pass the physical before anybody would probably consider taking him and picking him up again, obviously. But clearly, there's still some development that needs to be had for this guy just because he's so young and hasn't really played a ton with having an injury and only getting his rookie year under his belt. Nevertheless, for the Panthers, it was going to be tough for Troy Pride anywhere to make this team, in my opinion. I felt like he was going to be on the outside looking in. I never was really too high on him, but he did get a chance to show what he could do. He ended up battling out in the depth chart and getting some PT at some point. But to me, with this cornerback room being as loaded as it is with Dante, JC, and the trade of CJ Henderson and the emergence of Keith Taylor last year, pretty much was the writing on the wall to me that Troy Pride would probably be on the outside looking in, not mainly because of his injuries, but even if he was healthy, he would probably be on the outside looking in just because we have such depth and different variety of skill sets and investments in certain players. They're going to get a little bit more priority over a 4th-round draft pick. Obviously, he could have competed maybe for the nickel or many other things or something like that. But like I said, with those top 4, Keith Taylor, CJ Henderson, JC, and Dante, it's real crowded, man. It's real crowded. There's not a lot of elbow room in our quarterback room when it comes to that. Not to mention guys like STO and Kalon Barnes that we drafted this year that we really haven't even got a chance to see yet in action. So it was going to be an uphill battle for Troy Pride regardless in that aspect, but it's tough to see injuries go this way, and it's a tough league, and you just never know what can happen. Things change pretty quick. Life comes at you fast, but for this cornerback position, I still feel pretty good about the depth. I think this just shows how much they feel about the depth also. Yes, he was an injury designation, but like I said, I thought he would have got cut regardless because they feel comfortable with the group that we have. We have a variety of size, speed, and skills of different guys. Yes, the nickel position would probably have to be sorted out, but I think the versatility that we have with J.C. Horn, he could play inside when need be like he did last year. So I don't feel like we'll be missing anything with Troy Pride, obviously, but it's a tough look for the guy, and you feel for the man because it's question marks for his future going forward. Obviously, getting healthy is the priority, but I think sometimes we take these injuries for granted. When we hear surgeries are successful or whatever, people just feel like, okay, will we know if it wasn't successful? And the answer is probably no. I've never heard somebody say that there was an unsuccessful surgery. Obviously, there can be complications with like anesthesia and stuff and like the medicine they use to put you under, but at the same time, going into who did the reconstruction. Now, sometimes if you don't have the best doctor or the doctor makes a mistake and it's not put together properly, it doesn't heal properly, you can have some issues. Now, we take it for granted because we see guys like Adrian Peterson a couple years ago who had an ACL injury, ended up bouncing back after 6 months, won the MVP, and ran for 2,000 yards. That's an extreme case because obviously Adrian Peterson is a freak of nature. But sometimes there's complications. Even Odell Beckham Jr. alluded to it himself about his ankle injury from Cleveland. That wasn't really right. That allowed him to have down years and get cut, and he wasn't really sure how things were going to go for the rest of his career, and his rehab wasn't the best. You feel for guys like OBJ because of the ACL injury, but like I said, these surgeries are no guarantee where they happen, and maybe that was something that happened with Troy. Everybody's different. Maybe he's just not recovering as fast as some people would hope, and he's just not on progress or on par with where they thought he would be after almost a full calendar year since the injury. So you guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about this move being made by the Panthers. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Let me know if you feel like we should have kept Troy Pride around and gave him a chance a little bit more because he was so young. Let me know how you feel about the cornerback depth. 25th. But if you're not subscribed, make sure you are subscribed. Hit the button down below and the bell icon. That way you don't miss anything and you get notification every time I drop a video. Give the video a thumbs up if you have not already. I'll see you in the next video.